Hi, in this video I will show you how to work with BlockEngine.net source code. It is an ASP.NET application, so first thing you will need is to install ASP.NET Tools. The easiest way is to go to ASP.NET website and just click this button. It will install everything you need, even if it's not required for BlockEngine to run. It probably will be helpful later on. Once you get installed Visual Studio and Tools, next thing to get is a Tortoise AG client. This is a client for Mercurial source control that BlockEngine uses, and strictly speaking it's not required, but it's pretty convenient to use. It will help you to keep in sync if there's any changes in the project source on the server. And lastly, if you want to push your changes back to the project, it will help you to do so. When Tools installed, we're ready to go and look at the project website. At Codeplex, at the home page, you will see that there's a big download button right here, and this button will bring application files. It is compiled, it is ready to go to the web server, to your host. It's not the source files. Under download page, you will see a couple more options available. First, there is a web application files, which is the same as we just saw on the home page. It is a application files that is compiled and ready to go. But there's also a source control files, and these files are source files that are associated with this current release. It is stable, most recent version of the source files, but not necessarily the most recent, because there might be some additions to the source after release happened. Under source code tab, there's all source files available for this project. If you look here, there's a most recent files, but you can look at the history and it will show anything. It will show any changes made to the project for the very long time. As you can see, this is a source file associated with a release 2.9 right here, and there's on top of it there's another additional files that was added after project release. So this is the most recent files, and if you go back to files, it will point to this exact 2901, which is the latest. There's also a forks and pull requests. What it is, the fork is when you want to copy the entire repository and work on some feature that you're planning to push back to the project at some point. If you want to pull it to the project, you just send a pull request, and then someone on the project team will review it and will merge into existing project files. There's a clone when you want just copy the files and look at them locally and work on them, but not planning to do anything like a pushing back. The downloads will download source files without any control bindings at all. So it's just a pure source file that needed to work with Visual Studio, but will not give you anything source control related. For this demonstration, I'll be using clone feature because it's most easy to use and most convenient. I copy the URL from here and go to my local drive. I'll go to install it in the C demo. I'll just create a new folder, call it source. And if you right click, you should see that Tortoise AG menu added after you installed Tortoise AG client on your computer. And I go to clone and just paste URL that I copied from the website and click clone. This will bring all source files from the website to my local computer, and it will let me to keep it in sync with any changes in the repository. So if later on I want to just get the latest that was updated on the server, I will just again use this clone menu, and it will bring me anything that was updated at the time. And for the first time it takes a while to get everything. It's quite a bit, but after that it will just bring the updates, so it will be very quick. Okay, done. So now I can go here and open it, go to Blog Engine, and there's a solution file. I'll right click on solution, open with Visual Studio 2013. This is what I got installed. It will also work with 2012, and I have Visual Studio Pro, but it will also work with a free Express version. Okay, so as you can see, there's a 3 projects right here. There's a core, which is a core library. There is a website, and there's a tests. So the main is a website, and first thing that I want to do is just right click, set a startup project, and as a start page I will set a default.aspx. Set a start page. Now I'm ready to build it. Should get no errors, and when it is built I can just run it. I can go and open it with Firefox, for example, or any other browsers that is installed on my computer. Okay, so we got a page loaded and I can log in and go, for example, to the blogs in the admin UI. And it looks good, but for example, if we did not get this list loaded, let's just pretend that it didn't. And the reasons for people to download and install source version are multiple, but one of the most common is probably troubleshoot something that doesn't work, or just to learn how code works behind the scenes. So for example, if this list would not load, I would go to my source pages and look for AppCode APIs, because I know that APIs, web APIs, is what used to load that list. So blocks controller, and if I look at the get method for this, I would see that this is where it calls repository, so I can put a breakpoint on here and just check where it will go from here and how it populates it. So for example, I would, well, because it's already running in the debug mode, I can just switch here and reload this page, and it will hit this breakpoint, and then I can use the step into feature, and it will go and put me on the next step. And here I'm in the repository. I can see what logic is executed and how it worked behind the scene, and if there is something that not working, I can probably will be able to troubleshoot and to pinpoint where exactly it's breaking and how it's not working. And if there is something that I find that is not right, for example, there's a bug in the application, I can simply change it here, and once it's changed, if I want to, well, let's say I can add something like verbal_x equals 10, whatever. So there is a change that I made to this source code. So I can go back to my installation where I did install it. In the demo, right click and commit, and you'll see that there is a change that was made right now. And if I feel like there is a bug in the application and I want to fix it, I would just commit it to my local repository and then submit a pull request to ask for this change to be promoted to the application on the Codeplex. So that's in a nutshell how it works. It's not that complicated, and you can definitely start using it if there is something that is not working on your Blog Engine installation. You can get source code and look at it and find out what's going on behind the scene. That's all, and thanks for watching.